As the big U.S. Thanksgiving approaches this Thursday, with all the turkey, the mashed potatoes, the football, and the heated debates over politics, ICE, immigration, or whatever else is coming up at those dinner tables across America, I can't help but think about how Indigenous Americans have to deal with the onslaught that is Thanksgiving. Because I imagine it's incredibly damaging to have an entire holiday built on mythology, one that focuses on what is essentially make-believe, a completely whitewashed narrative about what Thanksgiving is supposed to be about. And you know the one, that Indigenous people and the Pilgrims came together in peace and harmony and mutual respect to celebrate a harvest over turkey dinner. The storybook version, the sanitized one. And here's the wild part. I have no doubt a whole lot of Americans genuinely think they're honoring Indigenous people when they celebrate Thanksgiving. Like they're participating in some kind of shared history of friendship. They just conveniently seem to forget what actually followed. Centuries of land theft, genocide, racism, forced relocation, boarding schools, and the systematic attempt to wipe out everything Indigenous peoples hold sacred. But instead, their go-to line becomes, "Hey, remember that time we all had dinner together?" As if a fictional dinner somehow outweighs 400 years of violence. So for any allies out there, including those of us in Canada, this American Thanksgiving, maybe think about the land you're standing on. Learn about the actual history of colonialism, not the child-friendly holiday version. And I already know, because I've done videos like this before, that the uneducated, the ignorant, and the proudly clueless will be out in full force in the comments with humdingers like, "That's ancient history, get over it. We just need to move on." Or my absolute favorite, "I didn't do those things. Why should I be held responsible?" And to that I say, as I have many times, you're not being asked to take the blame. You're being asked to stop denying the harm. Because denial is the thing that keeps the wound open. Acknowledgement is what starts the healing. Or sometimes I say, history isn't a guilt trip. It's a responsibility check. You can't fix a problem you refuse to recognize exists. Or, when I'm feeling really spicy, I reply that, if talking about injustice makes you feel attacked, maybe you ask yourself why you identify more with the oppressor than the oppressed. Because nobody asked you to carry the guilt. We're asking you to carry the awareness. But for the rest of you, the people who genuinely had no idea that what you learned in school wasn't the full story, I invite you to learn the real history. Because it reads as powerfully as any modern horror story. And like any horror story, it becomes less terrifying when you stop pretending it didn't happen. Healing can't happen in a space where people deny what happened. It doesn't matter who caused the harm. What matters is what we do now. And if we care about being decent humans, sharing air and space with other humans, then the bare minimum, the absolute floor, is acknowledging the truth and doing what we can to help those who are harmed to heal. Peace out. And if you're not already following me, you should. It's going to be a ride.